I want to bring in Ruby Chen, father of Itai Chen, one of 4 U.S. citizens still in Gaza. Ruby, I wonder if, as you see the pictures, and I'm sure you saw the pictures of the reunion with Eitan and his family, and you hear about the possibility of these peace talks bringing something to fruition, do you feel more hopeful today?
Yeah, first, thanks for having me. It's been a mixed emotions the last couple of days. First of all, the Alexander family from Tenafly, New Jersey, have become our family as well after being in this journey for over 19 months. And we, of course, are very happy for them being able to hug again Eitan and try to begin a new chapter. We had hopes that the administration would be able to pull off a deal that would get at the 5 remaining U.S. hostages. And we, my family, have not gotten any confirmation or acknowledgement from Hamas about the fact that Itai is in their possession and what is his physical status, which is type of psychological warfare that I do not wish my worst enemies. And we understood from Mr. Witkoff that we met today that the release of Eitan was what was possible and should be a stepping stone to continue the negotiations that is required. As you know, Mr. Witkoff is a very busy individual. He has a few other things under his portfolio, such as Russia, Ukraine, Iran. And he told us the fact that he is going out of Doha and not joining the president in Saudi Arabia just shows that there is movement and there is a desire to use this window of opportunity to bring out more hostages and hopefully also my son, one of the 4 U.S. citizens still in Gaza.
585 days now is unimaginable. One day, frankly, is unimaginable. Do you allow yourself to hope now?
There's no other way, that's the playbook. If we lose hope, then you won't get out of bed. And, I'm a proud New Yorker, proud New York Knicks fan. My eldest also is a Knicks fan. For the love of God, I do not know how, but Itai became a Celtics fan. And, what we in an alternative universe would be doing now is be watching the NBA, watching the playoffs, and just doing what dad and kids have been doing for generations, just enjoying life and enjoying a ball game and wanting to just have a simple life. Unfortunately, our destiny is different. And what we need now is from this administration to keep pushing the enemies in the Middle East, but also its friends, to get to a place that we could get a deal that will get the last hostage out with a timetable, knowing when that is going to happen.
You have mentioned the U.S. administration for 19 months now. We've seen Israelis protesting in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem pretty much every day, urging Benjamin Netanyahu's government to make a deal to free the hostages. In the case of Alexander, of course, as you know, and we mentioned, the U.S. bypassed the Israeli government and negotiated directly with Hamas. Do you believe that is the only way for you to have your son back with you?
It's unfortunate. Polls that have been done here in Israel have shown that 74% of the general public agree with the following statement. In order to release the last hostage, we are willing to have an end of war. Out of those 74, 55% of them define themselves as right-wing voters. So what the Prime Minister needs to do, he needs to listen to the people and what the people want. We have been in this suspended state for 19 months where we need to have hope again and get back to some state of normal. And we urge the Prime Minister to do what is needed, and that is why you see so many of the hostage families that are advocating in the United States and going to the U.S. Embassy here in Tel Aviv in order to try to do whatever is needed by the U.S. government to bring Netanyahu and bring Hamas to a place where we could get a deal. And I'm just reminding everybody about what happened a few hours ago. The Israeli position has been very simple. Once that the last hostage is released by Hamas, then all of this madness will end. And it is unfortunate, and I also feel the pain of the Palestinian people in Gaza. They are also in a humanitarian crisis. They are also human shields. And the international community needs to find a way to get this humanitarian crisis of us, the hostage families, and the people in Gaza to the next level. That is why we need Qatar. That is why we need Egypt. And the United States has that power. Indictments, economic sanctions, diplomatic sanctions. And I'd like to remind the viewers, on October 7th, 45 U.S. citizens were killed by Hamas. So the United States is not just a negotiator. It has equity in this. And we want to see justice for those 45 families. And I hope everybody that is listening agrees with me that that justice needs to be seen. But first, we need to get those hostages out.
Ruby Khan, who has every day continued to keep Itai in the public eye, and I'm sure on days it was extraordinarily difficult. We thank you, as we always do, for taking the time to talk to us.